name is Charlie McCormick, and I'm running for Town Council in Oakland. I'd like to take a few minutes to describe one of the main elements of my platform, which is about government transparency and accountability. One of the things that is required in order to make my platform work is one truth that everyone in Oakland must embrace and believe in, and that is that the sun will rise in Oakland regardless of who wins on November 2nd, regardless of what happens on November 3rd, November 4th. It doesn't matter. The sun will rise. Once we understand that what we're discussing as a community, the issues that are of concern to everybody, isn't as important as our friendships, our family, and those values that transcend politics. Once we're able to understand that in perspective, then as a community, we can have dialogue. We can talk with our neighbors, talk with our friends, our co-workers, our family about different issues, and we can have disagreements, but still keep it civil because our common goal is making Oakland a better community. Once we take that fact and believe in it, then we can move our government into a new form that is not just something that is available to communities around America, but is also around the world, where government is seeking not to just inform the public, but engage the public. Not just give them information about what they are doing, but involve the public in the decision-making process. This requires a couple of elements. It's not just saying, well, we're having a planning board meeting, or there's a town council meeting, or there's a public hearing on such and such an issue. That means putting out the information so that those citizens who wish to be involved and to be more of a participant in municipal governments can come to the meeting, come to the hearing, and be involved with the full facts available to them. Laying out the pros and the cons, not holding a public hearing just to convince the public of a predetermined decision. And unfortunately, that happens too often, not just in Oakland, but everywhere. We need to make a government that is not just 21st century, but also has the values that built our government, built our country in the beginning. In 1940, there were less than 1,000 people living in Oakland. Now there's over 12,000 people living in Oakland. Back in 1940, government was the same size in terms of representation, but people knew the person. They saw the person. There were a lot fewer people. There was more involvement. It was easily more accessible. Now with 12,000 people, we need to look to technology to implement tools that can bring back that sense of intimacy and closeness that was available when there were less people. And I think what we want to do is look at how information is collected. The public, for the most part, is not involved in the collection of information upon which decisions are based. We need to look at how information is exchanged. Right now, information is from the top to the bottom, the voters being at the bottom. We need to change that. We need to change it so that the voters are giving the information up to the top, and that is what the decisions are based on an informed public offering input and building a consensus. We need to look at how we can not only educate citizens on different issues by making the information, objective information, easily accessible, but also creating a platform that allows their input to be easily accepted, easily respected. We need to look at different ways that we can use technology to help build a stronger community and return to those values that helped build us in the beginning, helped build us when we were just 900 people living in a small community. There's a variety of ways that we're going to be able to do this, and this first video is basically laying out the concept of what I'm discussing in terms of transparency and accountability. I'm looking not just for public involvement, but for the government to actively engage the public. It requires more work. It makes the job of government more difficult to have to engage the public rather than to only have to listen to them once a year in November. I'd also like to discuss how the benefits of this will produce lower taxes, a more efficient government, and a stronger community. And then I would like to discuss how do we implement this? What are my ideas of how we can actively engage the public in terms of policy decisions, how resources are allocated, and what technology we can use that can create a civil discourse in Oakland